Hello there, Father Daniel coming to you from the Transfiguration House. This last weekend marked the 140th anniversary of the Chinese expulsion from Eureka. And I want to thank all of you who participated with me in the shared moment of silence on Sunday morning at both the 8 o'clock and 10:30 services, and the community gathering at the Chinese Mural on Sunday afternoon. Several of you joined me there. I also want to thank all of you who have been part of our Sacred Ground gatherings, our diversity forums, and vestry meetings in which we have been telling the truth about our church's history, even some of the difficult truths, including our parish's apparent lack of involvement with the Chinese community, the vulnerable Chinese community, when our church building was located adjacent to Chinatown on 4th and E, as well as our founder, Thomas Walsh's involvement in the expulsion of that community. He served as mayor during that expulsion. Now, although the complexities and nuances of history and humanity resist and ultimately reject any narrative in which one group is completely evil and another is completely innocent, it is still important for us to acknowledge this history for the sake of healing, since, as Desmond Tutu said, there can be no healing without truth. And so it's important for us to clearly denounce the racial prejudice of those responsible for the Chinese expulsion, as well as the subsequent celebrations of that expulsion. It was a holiday in Humboldt for decades. Now, thanks to the courageous compassion of Betty Chin, a Chinese immigrant who has done more to heal the social wounds of this county, perhaps more than anyone else, we partnered last year with Hopi, Humboldt Asian and Pacific Islanders in Solidarity, to celebrate Betty Chin, to celebrate Chinese New Year at Christ Church, and to celebrate Dr. Karen Price's amazing book, The Gray Bird Sings, about the extraordinary life of Betty Quan Chin. I've remained in conversation with Hopi, who invite us to observe the moment of silence on Sunday in memory of the victims of the Chinese expulsion. And as we did that, I invited us to ask ourselves if there are grave injustices happening right outside our walls today about which we remain silent, lest we sound too political. How might future historians look back at Christ Church Eureka during our time? Will they be disappointed by our silence and complicity, or will they be inspired by our courageous compassion? The purpose of these conversations is not to arouse guilt, but rather to learn from past sins and mistakes, lest we repeat them again, and to practice truth-telling. Over the last decade, the Episcopal Church has been working towards racial reconciliation, healing, and justice, guided by a long-term commitment to what we call becoming beloved community, which is a 4-part commitment that consists of, number 1, telling the truth about our churches and race. 2, proclaiming the dream of beloved community. 3, practicing Jesus' way of healing love. And 4, repairing the breach in society and institutions. These commitments are vital to lasting change within ourselves, our churches, our communities, and society at large. Along with reflecting on the relevance of the Chinese expulsion for us Christ Church Eurekans today, I also invite us to consider supporting Hopi in the creation of a monument to commemorate this dark and sobering chapter of our local history. The monument will be located on the corner of 1st and East Streets. The monument will highlight themes of hope and healing, which are central to our Christian faith and which have permeated my preaching since day one, since I first preached on a healing account in the Gospel of Mark. Hopi has already raised over $200,000, but they still need more donations to help support their part-time program coordinator who will manage the Eureka Chinatown project. So while Christ Church Eureka was complicit in the expulsion of the Chinese from Eureka 140 years ago, we now today have an opportunity to support the Chinese and Asian community in a tangible way by helping them to honor the history and culture of the first Chinese people in Humboldt County. You can support the Eureka Chinatown Monument by visiting a site that I will include with this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. God bless you.